back with the box office update. So this beautiful Juneteenth weekend, it is beautiful being black, isn't it? We actually have one of the healthiest weekends of the year with the box office, and this makes for a great box office discussion because there's a good amount of success stories in this weekend. So the domestic marketplace generated about $228 million altogether. That's just like movies that came out here and how much they made altogether, like all the big movie releases. And then the worldwide box office was about 445 to 450 million for just this weekend. So that's probably one of the strongest weekends of 2026. And another sign that the theatrical movie going continues to rebound. It's the movie going to spinning the block on us. For all you movie theaters are dying BSers out there in the world who just really like to see people fail for some reason, y'all need to be put on a list, like a watch list. But anyway, so we already know this weekend Toy Story 5 opened. We knew there was no doubt in the world that a Pixar movie about Toy Story coming out in June wasn't going to open up big, and it opened up to 160 million domestically, 152 million internationally, which gave it a 312 million worldwide box office opening. It is not the biggest opening of the year because Super Mario Galaxy opened at like 370 or something crazy like that. So, but I think Toy Story 5 with that and everything else that came onto the scene, it made it the biggest opening weekend of the year, unless they're not counting Mario because it came out on a 5 day weekend. So I don't know if they're saying like there's a 3 day weekend. Mario it didn't open up because it opened up on a 5 day weekend, so it had more of a stretch. Whereas Toy Story opened up on 3 days, and I think they're counting it as that, like a weekend, not a holiday weekend. So if that's the case, then yes, Toy Story 5 is the biggest opening weekend. So I think that's what they're going with, and the largest opening in Toy Story, by the way, and one of Pixar's biggest openings, period. So it's a lot of victories here for Toy Story, and it's a good cinema store, excellent critic score, huge family turnout, and Toy Story proves once again that when Pixar delivers a movie audiences genuinely want to see, families will show up in massive numbers. And people fail to realize, but families kind of drive the box office. Go back the last couple years, Moana 2, Zootopia 2, Inside Out 2. Yeah, they're all sequels, but they genuinely did good in the box office. The Super Mario movie back in 2023, Across the Spider Verse, Super Mario Galaxy, hell, even The Wild Robot, nowhere near as successful as the ones I just mentioned, but it was successful. And we're getting a sequel, and I hope it's just as good. I'm so excited for that sequel. But Toy Story 5 did exactly what I knew it was going to do. It proves that Toy Story millennials are going to pull up to see Toy Story because we have a special place for Toy Story in our hearts. It just is what it is. And those people who are millennials have kids now, and they want their kids to experience that Toy Story feeling that we did. And those kids are experiencing it. Actually, when I got out of Toy Story 5, I had an audience. There was an audience applause at the end. Like, people were genuinely happy. So this is a good sign that Toy Story 5 is probably going to open up to number one next weekend against Supergirl, unfortunately, because I really want Supergirl to do well, but it's got a lot of competition around it. But let's continue. Disclosure Day, I'm actually amazed by this, is actually holding pretty damn well. After opening at number one last weekend, it actually made a good amount of money this weekend again here. And for an original blockbuster and for a sci fi original blockbuster, it actually is doing pretty well. And I'm actually happy to see that. Obsession is still doing crazy. I think it crossed 200 million here, and I think it's over 300. I think it's like 333 million total, which is crazy. It is probably going to end up being the most profitable film of 2026 because even if Toy Story 5 ends up making like 1.2 billion dollars, it costs 250 million to produce, which I think is insane. By the way, got to be Pixar's most expensive movie. Got to be. And that is just wild. So it's not gonna. It's gotta make a good 600, maybe 700 million just to break even, which is crazy. Um, but that's where we're sitting at with that one. So Obsession might end up being the most profitable film of the year. I mean, Super Mario Galaxy also might be because it didn't cost that much to make, but this movie cost significantly less than Mario movie. So Yeah, we'll see. And then Backrooms continues to win as well. Backrooms has, I think, 175 million domestic. I think it's almost at 300 million. I think it's around like 275 million after this weekend. And it is now A24's biggest success story so far. A24 is fire, by the way. Love that damn studio. But Backrooms is doing great. Scary Movie 6 is still, I think it just crossed 200 million. And that has been a big surprise for me. I'm actually like, I'm happy that it's making money because that means White Chicks 2 can happen and maybe a Don't Be a Menace sequel. Bruh, why now? But whatever. If this is what we're getting, then I'm okay with that. I'm going 100% down to see a Wayans brother product come back to theaters and do what this movie did. If this does better, like it's already done better, it's already profitable. It's already very profitable at a $30 million budget. At over 200 million, and it's only in its what second, third weekend. It's doing very well financially for the theater and for the Wayans brothers and for the studio. So let that be what it is. But if Don't Be a Menace 2 and White Six 2 happened because this happened, I am 100% okay with that. Now, the movie I forgot last week and I felt terrible to leave out was Master of the Universe. It's struggling with the audience momentum, but it's kind of upsetting, actually. I'm not even a big He-Man fan. I couldn't tell you jack dig about He-Man. I know He-Man. I know he's got the power, and I know She-Ra. That's it. But it is a little sad to see that He-Man isn't generating a box office revenue that it could. Because from all the reviews I've heard, it's great. But I just have no interest in seeing it. Now, this makes me happy to see that Michael is still running that box office rampant. It is still running the box office. And it is apparently it is now at like 957 or something like that. It is up there. It is like almost at $1 billion. And if Michael ends up being the second movie in 2026 to break a billion, that'd be astounding. Thank you, Japan, for just continuing to show up and show out. Apparently the audiences over there in Japan are loving it, man. They are loving it over there. So great word of mouth clearly creates great legs. I'm hoping that is the case for Supergirl. I'm hoping great word of mouth comes out and people are like, you know what, maybe we need to see this, and they see it and they love it. That's my hope. And then we have new releases like Leviticus and Death of Robin Hood, which didn't open up super well, but it's fine because they're not like the dependability that Hollywood is looking for right now, especially when you got Obsessions, Backrooms, Disclosure Day, and now Toy Story 5 kind of making the box office kind of cruise along into July to when The Odyssey and Spider Man eventually come out. So that's nice. And I'm hoping Supergirl really adds to that. The biggest story, like, it isn't really just Toy Story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Toy Story coming out is always going to be a drag for people to get to the theater. It's always going to be like people like, I'm going to this theater if I got to drag myself there. But it did prove something bigger this weekend. And looking at the diversity of the market, we have family animation, an original sci-fi flick, a horror flick, an internet horror flick. We have a comedy and we have a music biopic. We have a lot of different genres right now playing in the theaters, and they're keeping the theater going. Like they're floating the theater. And a few weeks ago, we had Project Hail Mary. Still, we had Devil Wears Prada 2, and they were helping with the box office. Devil Wears Prada and Project Hail Mary overperformed like I don't know what. And it's good to see we're not getting just one movie every month or every, you know what I'm saying, to blow the box office up. It's a bunch of movies at once all together. This is what the box office should have never left behind. And it's good to see that this is what's making the box office run again. Is a bunch of different movies out at the same time that people want to see. Not just everybody's coming to theaters to see one movie and then all these other movies fall victim to the background. No, we have a big palette that pretty much is palpable for damn near anybody who wants to see a movie. I say the only thing we're missing here is like a really good action film. And that's where the Furious should have came in, but they're barely screening it, and it looks amazing. I need to see that movie. I probably would like to see it Friday before I see Supergirl on Saturday, but who knows if I'm going to be able to. But it's a healthy theatrical marketplace nonetheless. And that's exactly what a healthy marketplace for the box office looks like. So please just stop letting the people tell you that everything's just crashing and burning and theaters are going to hell, because they're actually not. In fact, we're at a better place than we were last year for movies as far as box office wise. And this is the best year for box office money since the pandemic. So who knows what we'll see by the end of the year? We're only in June. We're at the halfway point. We still got July with two really big potential blockbusters. We still have Clayface in October, and I'm very interested to see what Clayface does to the box office. And we still have November and December, which is the tail end of the year, but it's Thanksgiving weekend and Christmas weekend. We have a Doom Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday coming out. And if you think Avengers Doomsday isn't going to make money, you're crazy. If you think Doom 3 isn't going to make money after Doom 2's success and how financially and critically popular that movie is, you're crazy. So, anyway, I guess it was just, Juneteenth weekend, baby. And I'm never going to let y'all live this down. But Juneteenth weekend, it was a Toy Story. It was Toy Story 5 having the biggest opening of the year. It was about Hollywood proving that audiences are willing to support great movies across every genre as long as the movie's good. Family, animation, horror, sci-fi comedy, and a music biopic in this time frame, all at the same time in theaters, have all found success. And Michael closing in on $1 billion and Mario officially joining the $1 billion club, it's becoming harder and harder to argue that theaters are dying. Like, it's just a hard argument now. And I think even the grifters are like, you know what? Maybe these movies are doing better than we want to actually admit, but we'll lose our toxic fan base if we say otherwise. And audiences are removing movies that give them a reason to leave the house. Let that sit in, let that sink in your brains. This is a really, really good look for the box office as a whole. So, man, please, we are seeing something really good in 2026 right now. We are seeing something very, very good. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let you guys go on this one. Let me know how you feel down below, and I'll see you on the next one.